here's what I mean. The process will not matter to people eventually. They will be dealing with the content. They will be dealing with the substance of the bill. And to be honest with you, I am afraid. I don't know, and I'm not qualified to take that 2,000 plus pages or to take even the CBO report and dissect it and autopsy it. I have to take their word for it. I hope they're correct, because if they are, it is going to cut down on slice the deficit. It's going to produce a lot of benefits for people, but there has to be some downside to it. And I'm worried about what that may be.
But who knew what was going to happen with Social Security? Who knew what was going to happen with Medicare and Medicaid? First of all, there are no political guarantees.
Right, but Roland, that's a good point. What you have right now, when you take a look at Social Security, when you take a look at the Iraq War vote, the American people said, okay, we trust your leaders in Washington, and guess what? At the end of the Iraq War, in terms of the process, people are saying, we were duped. The point is that there's a lack of trust between the American people and lawmakers. The lawmakers specifically have said repeatedly to trust us, and the American people are saying repeatedly, we don't trust you.
And I've said on this show, and those same American people return them to Congress every 2 years. So my point there is the American people also have to suck up some of their responsibility for sending incumbents back at a rate of 95%.
And that's what they're going to do. They're going to. I hope that they vote every single one of them out. Now, going back quickly,
that ain't happening. So that's nice, but it's not happening.
There are unintended consequences for every piece of legislation that passes. Social Security, for some people, it's great. For you two, it's not. For Deborah and myself, it's great. Ron Walters. I'm just saying, Ron Walters, famed political scientist, has said Social Security, reverse reparations for black men. Correct. You will die before you see your Social Security. So think about it. Just don't think about this is great, big government overhaul, government expanding. It always has a negative impact on us
just
somehow.
Represented Ron Walters, who I had on my show many times, who would not give up Social Security for investment in Wall Street.
I did not say that he would give it up to invest in Wall Street. It didn't come out of my mouth, but Ron Walters did say verbatim, Social Security is reverse reparations for African-American men.
We can talk about people not having a trust of government, a trust of elected officials, but the reality is there's no other body for us to go to when it comes to pass things. And the reality is, what our job is to try our best to make whatever comes up as strong as possible, as effective as possible, and frankly, politicians should have also the courage that when we see something that's not going well, to fix it and not continuing a problem.
So what's the Congressional Black Caucus doing?
What do you mean?
What are they doing? What are they doing? On health care, I'm asking, where have you heard any member of the Congressional Black Caucus go to bat for Medicare Advantage?
I'm asking. Oh, my goodness.
I'm just asking.
They've been on that show a whole lot. Joe, go ahead.
I'll answer it this week. The NNPA met. They had Barbara Lee.
Hold up.
The
National Newspaper Public Association.
They had Barbara Lee. Barbara Lee spoke to that organization and ran a litany of things that the Congressional Black Caucus put into that bill and made sure would be in that bill. A litany of things that we don't have enough time to discuss. So to answer your question is, you should bring Barbara Lee on and let her tell you what she did.
First of all, we already have but here's the other piece that's also important. That is, Black Caucus, they've done a number of things. But also, I understand your particular issue. But the one thing we've learned about this bill, you can have a particular position on one issue, but it's a much larger bill. Congressman John Conyers has been for single payer. Every year he's been in Congress. Is single payer in the bill? No. What people are saying is, I can't just say just my one thing. I must look at it in its totality and the greater good.
But Roland, here's another unfortunate truth. This is a Democratic Party issue. Speaker Pelosi, as we literally are speaking right now, is trying to whip her own members. This is not really a Republican issue.
Oh, it's not.
So my point here is that, we can talk all we want about, the outside factions here, but the internal factions here is within the Democratic Party. And when it comes to trying to pass this bill.
Why don't we understand this? Think about this. The Democratic Party is in pieces in some way over this issue as it has been.
But they've always been. But go ahead.
But wait a minute. And so here you have the Speaker herself getting down on her hands and knees working this deal, okay? The Republican Party is in lockstep. Which one is more principled? A group that will just say, okay, the Republicans tell us to do this, I'm going to go march down that road, or one that you have to, that really has a debate going on within itself.
You're absolutely right. But But the flip side of that is, look at the Republican Party when it came to immigration. Look what the Republican Party when it came to Harriet Myers when she was a Supreme Court justice. You saw major infaction within the Republican Party.
Actually, I think with Harriet Myers, you saw
Roland.
No, I will protect a fellow Texan.
But
you saw
substantial.
social conservatives who did not trust whether she was conservative enough.
But the point
so
is,
it wasn't. So moderates had no voice in that. Well, go right ahead.
But the point is that there was dissenting voices within their own party about the nominee.
Right.
I totally agree with you. But
Which is healthy.
But the point is that the reality is Speaker Pelosi has got to pass this bill by trying to get Bart Stupak, who is a Democrat from Michigan who's pro-life, by trying to get
she will pass the bill. I guarantee you that bill will pass.
So you say absolutely, Michelle, pass or fail?
It's going to pass.
Deborah?
Pass.
Making sausage, it will pass, but painful, very painful.
And thank God 30 million people will have insurance.
Well, according to
that we all
excuse me, hold on, but according to the Congressional Budget Office, 32 million.
I'm sorry,
wait, gotcha. But let me say this, and I think it's also more important, and I think it went to Deborah's point. People sitting at home, they don't give a damn about the process and whether you want to call it the slaughter, the reconciliation, whatever, because the reality is that's D.C. people who are talking that whole conversation. The person at home is sitting here saying, look, will it pass? Will it fail? No matter what the mechanism is. And
when will I get covered?
Let's just cut to the chase.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
In reality,
okay, 10 seconds, but trust me.
Will it pass? Yes or no? How much does this cost? And how does it affect me?
Exactly.
Right. No, I got you. But the point is, the school teacher or the woman running the daycare, she's not sitting here going, that slaughter rule. I wonder if that's really going to work. I'm just saying, maybe some of the folks in D.C. need to realize it's not about the process.
They'll get over the process.
Robert, Deborah, Michelle, Joe, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks.